Evening, everybody. It's 6:28 on Thursday afternoon, and this is your closing comment for today's market. I'm going to make this very short and sweet because I'm not going to go through a whole list of stocks. They were all down. Of my 11 sectors that I watch, um, 11 were down. The only one that showed even any green in it at all was the most defensive of them, which is food supply chain. And on balance, it too was down 1.69%. So no point. Chart here on the screen is the culprit. This is what today was all about. The Swiss, in the middle of the night, decided to raise their interest rates, and that dramatically strengthened their currency. As you can see, we'd already had a rally, but we came all the way back down to test those lows. And test it, they did, and successfully. This is the Swiss franc today. This was a pretty dramatic move. You're talking about a 3.5% move on the action for just today. It's down a little tonight, down 0.25%. Really doesn't mean much. The Dow was down 2.4%. Let's do this in descending order. The worst market was the Russell, down 81.30 or 4.7%. Second worst was the NASDAQ, down 453 or 4.08%. The third was the Dow Jones Transports, down 3.4% or 455. The next was the S&P, down 3.25%, 123 points, and the best performer of the day, down only 2.4%, was the Dow, down 741. Advanced declines on the NYSE were 9-1 to the downside, so normally pretty climactic. On the NASDAQ, it was 3-1 to the downside, and volume was up to 5.65 million. By the way, in the Dow, we actually had, of the 30, 26 down, 4 up, and none of them up more than $1, although I think Walmart was pretty close to that. Okay, I said I was only going to mention one stock, and that is true. The symbol is SIDU, and the only reason I'm mentioning it is because I made notes on it this morning and then forgot with all of the housing and claims and Philly Fed and housing starts and housing permits, every single one of them a disappointment. This was SIDU. This is a space company, and they just got a contract as a subcontractor for NASA. This company came public at $5 a share, December 14th, so 6 months ago. It came at 5. It hit 29.70. It then turned down and eroded itself all the way down to $1.26. When this announcement came out yesterday, the stock closed 468, up 342 or 225%. Today it had a high over $9 and closed at 763, up another $2.95 or 63%. So an unbelievable run. 30 down to $1, and then from $1 up to $8 in 3 days. So very impressive. As far as the futures go, I'm going to say it again until everybody has asked about it. Futures. This is not the old futures market. This is a 23-hour-a-day market that you can use stops in. And Dennis has been trading my money and trading several other accounts for me. And I think he's up right around 80% year to date. But here's the point: this chart that you see on the screen, it's a futures. And if you would have been in it, you would have known. And if you would have been in any of the things that it had an effect on today, you would have known, even if it was just Dennis doing your trading for you and using stops overnight. Okay, so um, I'm going to mention it again. There are some great tax advantages in these futures, and as I said, they trade 23 hours a day, 5 days a week. So here's the uh, currencies, and as you can see, we were down $1.51, and that's because people who have been hiding in the dollar now want to hide in the Swiss franc. So they sold us off the same way they bought up the Swiss franc. This is a monstrous move. I mean, this move of $1.50 is 1.5% basically, or 1.4% in a day. These are not normal markets. I can't say it often enough. You're desensitized to these percentage gainers, but they are extreme. Um, the oil got down to 112 again today, closed up on the day at 117, although the oil stocks did not. The gold, which I mentioned last night that I told you Dennis was looking at around the 1800 level. Yesterday it was up $6. Today it was up $30. Tonight it's up another $5. Here's the daily chart. We've been buying every single time we've been in this area, this 1800 area, 1810, 1820. Here we are back at 1855 with a high tonight of 1861. That's $6,000 a contract, one contract, and can trade all night, and you can use a stop. Bitcoin cracked below 21,000. It did not make a new low today. Yesterday's low, I believe, was 20,040. Closed tonight 20,790. Tried to rally, couldn't turn back down. The bonds were up $1. The nat gas was up about 4 cents. So there you have it, folks. Get to me, ask about the futures trading program. It's important, and it's a lot easier to do than what you've seen. And as I said, I'm going to say it one more time: 23 hours a day, you can use stops. You don't have to close your machine down at 4 or even in extended hours at 8 and then come in at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning and see a 10 or 15 or 20% gap to the downside. So there you go. I'll be back first thing in the morning, and I didn't write them down, but I know that we became dramatically, on the AAII numbers, became dramatically more bearish, which means we're probably in for another bear market rally. I'll be back in the morning.